4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Break the wall down!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we're actually doing this.
Oh, we're doing this.
Okay, go ahead.
Live from Studio 6. My name is Marcus White.
My name is Nick Cavalli.
And we welcome you to the Revolution.
Color me confused. That was, okay.
Hey man, sometimes when you feel it, you just gotta jump right on it.
Drink it in, man.
It is the Wednesday Night Wars.
Wednesday.
Yes, no longer the black hole sucking abyss that is Friday Night SmackDown, and no longer the up and down roller coaster ride that is Monday Night Raw. Baby, it's Wednesday night, and it feels so good.
Wednesday night, baby!
So, as always, we are going to go ahead and kick things off with WWE's own NXT on USA Network.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is the 10th anniversary edition of WWE NXT. Congratulations. Even though, like, 1 or 2 of those years were really cringy at reality TV.
Oh, more than 1 and 2 years. Like, that NXT lasted for like 5, 6 years.
An unnecessary amount of time.
I do appreciate that they acknowledge the bad years, because, you know, you can see the growth. And they go, this is where we started.
They didn't do the usual WWE Men in Black mind wipe.
Yep. These are not the NXT you're looking for. So, that's really bad.
This is not the NXT that you were looking for.
Yeah, I don't know why I had like a weird accent on that. So, NXT starts, and with the arrival of the Queen, Charlotte, pulling up, giving William Regal the oddest look. They both just kind of staring lovingly into each other's eyes.
Hi, William. How you doing today?
It was very uncomfortable. And then we cut to Dominic Dijakovic versus
Let's get grimy.
Cameron Grimes?
Let's get grimy.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so Cameron Grimes, as much as I like to pick on him, he has been impressing me in the ring. I just, again, don't get your character. Yeah. And Dijakovic, I love the guy. So I gave the match a chance, and it didn't disappoint. It was a pretty good match. Yeah, solid match to open up the show.
I would say this is a decent match. Grimes was worse than his last showing, but still better than his average.
And then they swerved us, because this was the one thing I was like, well, obviously Dijakovic's going to win, right?
Damian Priest.
Yes, so Dijakovic hits a moonsault on Cameron Grimes, and then as he kind of like tweaks his knee on the landing. You saw it was a pretty awkward landing. And then as he's like getting back to get in the ring, Damian Priest comes out with like a police nightstick and then smacks him on the back of the knee.
Yeah, that'll take you out real quick.
So then Cameron Grimes wins the match via count out. We don't see that very often. So now the stage has been set for Dijakovic versus Damian Priest, and now Cameron Grimes will now ascend the ladder towards becoming number 1 contender for the North American Championship.
I hope not.
Everyone does, except for, I guess, the people in NXT.
And then Finn Balor asks, who's next?
You know what? Actually, I just realized that I got that ending wrong. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was a pinfall.
It was a cave-in for the Grimes win. Sorry, I just
don't care about Cameron Grimes.
No, I just because I remember that, like, I looked down at my phone for the end of that match after I saw, you know, the attack from Damian Priest, so I actually forgot about the ending there. So that is my fault.
And then Finn Balor asks, who's next?
Essentially, yes. So we get an announcement from William Regal announcing the contender matches for a number 1 contendership match at TakeOver Tampa.
Seeing that at TakeOver Tampa, there will be no match for the NXT Women's Championship because that will be defended at WrestleMania. we are going to have a number one contenders match. And it will be a ladder match.
So, I'm excited for that. I mean, definitely a good way to make up for the loss of one of your main belts. So, props to you, NXT, for sticking through it. But yes, as he says, Finn Balor comes out, cuts a Goldberg promo.
I've done everything in this company.
Talks about how he builds brands. He built Japan. He built Mexico. He built NXT. Then he starts listing off belts. He says, Universal Championship.
Intercontinental Championship.
NXT World Championship.
I've done everything there is to do.
Everyone's trying to peak for Mania. I've been in my peak for 20 years. So, who's trying to get that Balor rub? Out comes two members of Imperium.
Oh, man.
Which, a little bit of bummer. I was hoping for Walter, but...
yeah, I sat straight up in my seat.
yeah, I was...
Clearly, I'm a Walter stan, but...
So, WWE NXT UK... do I need to start watching?
You do now.
Yeah.
Hey, Finn, you've done quite a bit, but there's something you haven't done. You've never been NXT UK champion. Walter sends his regards.
Whew. So then Balor attacks, and Imperium takes out Finn Balor. We then cut backstage to Bianca Belair on her way to the ring, and she says that when she sees Charlotte Flair, it's on sight. And then we get the returning Xia Li versus Mia Yim.
This
not the reaction I was expecting from Mia. More reaction for Xia than Mia? Surprising.
I'm really not interested in either of them, but it was kind of nice to see Xia actually in a ring, not just, and oh my god, guys, this is our one token Chinese superstar.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. It kind of feels like it's been that way with WWE and all their Chinese signings.
Oh, and their Saudi signings.
Yeah.
Their Saudi signings have never been seen on TV.
Yeah, have you seen them? Of course you haven't. They haven't left the Performance Center. I don't even know if they made it to the Performance Center.
They probably haven't left Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, so it's all for publicity, man. It's all a game and how you play it.
It's all about control.
And if you can't take it. Yep. Thank you, Triple H. So, yeah, this was a match. Really no stakes in it. The only thing that you get in this match was that Dakota Kai comes out and she starts bragging about attacking Mia. That, hey, Mia, you took my place at War Games and I took it back.
It wasn't your place. I didn't take anything from you. And I took it back. What are you talking about? I was injured by Io Shirai.
So this was interesting
Revivalist history or revisionist history. Excuse me.
Well, wasn't it? Didn't it come out that Dakota Kai attacked Mia Yim to get into the match?
No. Mia Yim got injured. Oh, you mean backstage before that? Yeah, but she had been injured by Io Shirai beforehand anyways. They were already looking for a replacement.
Yeah, but kayfabe, it was Dakota Kai.
Okay, okay. Also, Rikishi ran somebody over with a car.
But this is all within the context of kayfabe, so she's right. It's not revisionist, it's kayfabe, correct. So.
It's exactly what they did with that scenario. They had no idea who was driving the car, but eventually they just went, this seems convenient. It was Rikishi.
Well, and as I said, I'm sure they were going to do something with Dakota Kai anyway, probably in that match. There was going to be some type of attack, so whether it was planned that way exactly or whether it just kind of worked out, I mean, it all worked out in the
Seems
end,
convenient.
I suppose.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so, yeah, this leads to a roll-up distraction pinfall for Zia, which, isn't she like a super babyface? So, didn't really think she'd resort to the distraction victory, but she takes her opportunity and she runs with it. And then Raquel Gonzalez starts attacking Mia Yim. Who cares? NXT, I get that every week you can't have the same 5 or 7 guys because they need to rest and you need to build other people, but do you have to do it all, rest all of them at the same time? Can we have some of the top tier talent, please? And I mean, that's not fair. We do get a couple. We get literally a couple. So we get next though, we get Velveteen Dream, and he's talking in this weird purple dressing room with fog and I don't know.
It's the Dream.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but he just essentially talks about how he wants Roderick Strong to experience a steel cage.
This is the point in the night where you look at me and go, wow, Triple H is really that petty. AEW has a cage match, and all of a sudden he's like, we're going to do 2 in the same night.
Yeah, I was just I literally paused the show and was like, there's Triple H. Let them have...
You going to make it like a 40-foot cage?
They're going to
we're going to have a Punjabi prison match at Full Sail.
It's going to have that... It's going to be the only match that takes place outside because they can't fit a cage that big in Full Sail. They're just going to build a ring on the outside and have a cage because why not?
No, he's going to make Full Sail make the arena bigger by next week. Raise the roof by 20 feet.
Yep.
Well, sir, the structure can't support it. You have 1 week.
I'll give you some of that sweet Fox money. Or the Saudi money. Take your pick.
I'll take the Fox money. Please keep your Saudi money. I don't want it.
Yeah, so it's going to be Dream versus Roderick Strong in a steel cage match. We're getting two next week because AEW, right? So
I was excited for one of them. Not that I'm not excited for this Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong one, but
has it warranted it?
It feels so forced.
Yes, this rivalry definitely hasn't really warranted the I hate you so much that steel cage. I mean, I believe that Roderick...
I get it.
I believe that Roderick hates Velveteen Dream. I don't...
And the whole broken back, I get it. But it's just... You literally could have done this any other time, and I'd have been like, yeah. But now that you're like, you know what? AEW did 1, we're going to do 2. That, I can feel the petty radiating.
Yeah, it's not just petty, but it's also, it almost seems like desperation, too. You're looking at AEW and you're looking at how
I bought the competition.
Everyone else is, talking about AEW's 1 cage match, and you're like, but I'm NXT, damn it.
We've had so many cage matches in WWE history. We invented the cage match.
So, yeah, it's just...
We invented the 20-foot cage.
I know we talk about Vince being petty, but,
Yikes,
God, Triple H. You really just all like your father-in-law, aren't you? Except you're just way better at booking. So, next, we get Redemption. So we thought, for one Austin Theory.
What?
It actually was.
This low-key felt like it was a dream match to me. I've always been a big Austin Theory guy. To see him and Ciampa in the ring together...
Yeah, so Austin Theory doesn't go of the way of prior debuts who were attacked by superstar talent. He actually does get a chance to exact his revenge against Tommaso Ciampa in a match.
And they look awesome. Both of them.
Austin Theory looked phenomenal. It's not, I was going to say debut match, but it's not his first time wrestling in Full Sail. So
Theory really proves that he can go all day.
Yeah.
He was absolutely lights out start to finish in this match, and it doesn't hurt when you're going at it with Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, Ciampa, extremely focused tonight, not worrying about Johnny Gargano, just trying to take out all his anger and aggression on Austin Theory. These two had very good chemistry in the ring together. It wasn't like, super fast paced, but it also wasn't like terribly slow. It was at the right pace it needed to be for the first time these two locking up together in NXT. So very good match. Tommaso Ciampa does win the match though, and then post match we get a attack by Johnny Gargano. Briefly, Ciampa's distracted by Austin Theory, and that leads to Gargano getting the upper hand. Gargano hits 2 massive super kicks, and then he lays Ciampa on the ring apron, and mocking Ciampa does the clap, but slowly, and the crowd starts clapping along, and then he just stares psychotically at the camera.
Yeah, Johnny's lost it.
Yeah.
Johnny's lost it.
And the whole time he's beating up on Ciampa, he has a towel.
The DIY towel.
The DIY towel. So, Johnny's gone loco. We get next Roderick Strong just agreeing that he wants the steel cage. And then Bobby Fish says that the Broserweights got lucky that we're one of the best tag teams in the world. We've won dozens of titles. We've lost dozens of titles. You think that we're worried about losing to you? You got lucky. It was a fluke. Imagine what we're going to do to you now that we've had time. So they are prepared for their match. And then, of course, you have Adam Cole who says, and that's undisputed. The only thing Adam Cole said in this promo. So, Adam Cole no longer being the mouthpiece of Undisputed Era. I'm okay. They can talk. Finally. So next we get what I'm calling Thick Boy Hour.
Thick Boy season is in full swing.
Yeah, this is the battle of the big boys. Bronson Reed,
the Thick Boy,
versus Killian Dane,
the Hairy Boy.
And Killian Dane, first of all, I gotta address this. Yeah. You look phenomenal, my guy.
You're getting in a lot better shape.
Yeah, you have definitely, I don't know what you did, but dude, can I have your workout program?
For real though.
You look great. You're in amazing shape. And let's not take away from Bronson Reed, because Bronson Reed, he can go. He's definitely he may be a big boy, but he's got energy. He doesn't get gassed as easy as a lot of bigger guys. No. This was a really good match. This was your classic big sweaty men, but they can fly. They can fly. Bronson,
I actually expected maybe a little more athleticism from this match. Based on who it is, being Bronson Reed and Killian Dane, both of those guys bring a decent amount of athleticism that I'd say you don't normally see out of big men, but we've seen it recently.
Yeah. It's not like a Dominic Dijakovic.
It's not Keith Lee. Neither of them are Keith Lee.
I was going to say, you're not going to see either one of these men doing a standing shooting star or anything. But you saw Bronson hit a tope out the gate. You then also saw him attempt his shooting star from the top rope, but yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see that hit. But there was one spot where both of these guys kind of met in the middle of the ring, just kind of crashed into each other. Mauro called it a malfunction at the junction, and you felt the impact of that.
Absolutely.
It was massive.
Oh, my favorite is the superplex.
Oh yeah,
superplex. Ring breaker.
I was gonna say I call bull on that spot. If anything, Big Show and Braun taught me the ring's supposed to break after that, right?
Yep. Except NXT probably has better rings because they care.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing about a reinforced ring there, NXT. I'm on to your lies. But yeah, Killian Dane wins with the Vader Bomb. Still one of the worst finishers.
Bring back the Ulster Plantation, please.
Is it because it's the one-winged angel? Is that why you got rid of it?
It doesn't make any sense. Why would you get rid of it? It's already the most effective finisher in the history of the world.
Yeah, I just feel like someone at WWE, because of AEW, was just like, you can't change it.
You can't use Kenny's move.
Meanwhile, you have like Seth Rollins like hitting the knee, the V trigger every Monday night. But whatever. And then we get Battle of the Nations, as it's the UK versus the good old US of A. Grizzled Young Vets versus Forgotten Sons. This is a match that we definitely were not looking forward to.
I didn't need to see this.
No.
This never needed to grace my television or your television.
Forgotten Sons looked
better
than they've looked ever. And even Morrow addressed that. They said they looked really good. And I don't want to say really good, but they've looked the best that they've ever looked. So props to Forgotten Sons for getting better. GYV are never bad, but they're just not my flavor.
Flav. Sorry.
So yeah, I don't have much to talk about this match except it was a pretty dull match.
It was a match.
It was dull. The whole the USA puns and it was cringe. It was so cringe. This was the worst the commentary team on NXT has been. So many America and UK puns. It was bad. Like there was one point where he was like, "What? He can feel the red, white, and blue coursing through his vein." I was just like, "You do know both nations have red, white, and blue in their flag,
yep,
right?"
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just a big bottle of cringe. At the end of the day, Ticket to Mayhem for the win for Grizzled Young Vets. We then get Tegan Knox with an interview. Talks about how she wasn't prepared for Rockwell, but she was prepared for Dakota. Says that Dakota started this in a cage. And next week, I ended in one. So, definitely looking more forward to that cage match than the Dream Strong one. Again, not that it's going to be bad, just I feel like one of these has more so warranted it than the other.
Significantly.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess that's not really saying much considering that even I've been very harsh on the Tegan Knox Dakota Kai feud because, again, I don't feel like you guys have done a great job portraying the hatred these two women are supposed to have for each other.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, it's worth it next week. Please be worth it.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be a fantastic match between the two of them. Hopefully, I'm not wrong.
We then get an interview with Damian Priest, and I do quotations because Damian's walking out with two females strapped on either side, and the interviewer's like, Damian, can I get a word? And he's just like, what, dude? And he just says, look, it's nothing personal, but he's in the way of something that I wanted, and he just shoves the camera out of the way. So,
okay.
Cool, I guess. And then we finally get to the moment that we've been waiting for since NXT went live. The only two people on this show that we really cared about, and that's Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair. This was the main event. This was as good as I thought it was going to be. I just wish it had gotten more time. You should have given this match more time to breathe. The ending shouldn't have had to have been rushed as it was. NXT, it's USA. It's USA Network. You tell them you need more TV time. Look, man, we're the best thing you've got going for your network. You give us more TV time. You've proven you can do it before. So it's just that was my only critique. That was my only gripe about the fact that Smash just didn't have enough time. Hell, if you need more time, there are plenty of segments you could have taken time from.
Well, and the show on after is Ms. and Mrs.
Exactly.
It's a WWE scheduled program.
Mm-hmm.
Push it back.
Exactly. So that was my one annoyance of this match, but it was every bit of the match you thought it was going to be. These two women are two of the most athletic women, not only in WWE, but in professional wrestling today. Charlotte Flair, I know I roll my eyes and I get annoyed the fact that she gets pushed harder than John Cena ever did. And hell, there was one point where Mauro talks about like, oh, Bianca aspires to have the career that Charlotte Flair had, and I just goes, I think Ric Flair aspires to have the career
that his daughter has
that
so
Charlotte has had so far. He had 16. She's gonna have 60 by the time she retires.
Pretty much.
So, yeah, Charlotte. I roll my eyes at the way she's been over pushed and her cringe robotic promos, but she's still phenomenal in the ring. That's never been a question. She is amazing at what she does, so you can't knock her for that. Bianca Belair, of course, I've always been on her high horse. She is amazing. Week in and week out, she's showing you why she's one of the best young talents in NXT and in WWE today. It's kind of a shame that they're not pushing her to that next level yet, but she'll get her time. She's going to be there for a very long time, so she'll have her moment. So these two, this was kind of like, what you expected. It's Charlotte kind of outclassing Bianca for the majority of the match. She's the veteran in this match. She's the more accomplished of the two, obviously. So it was kind of like I'm going to teach you a lesson here type of deal. But then you had Bianca fighting out of it, proving that she deserves to be in the same ring as Charlotte
with the
Flair.
raw strength, raw talent kind of thing.
Yeah, she's definitely faster than Charlotte. She's definitely stronger, but Charlotte's smarter. So that was kind of the thing was you have Charlotte use Bianca's own momentum against her to reverse into a submission hold or a choke hold, or you'd have Charlotte just doing like these crazy counters using Bianca's own, I don't want to say stupidity, but own aggressiveness against her. So it was phenomenal storytelling. I think the craziest thing I saw in this match was Charlotte had Bianca in like a abdominal stretch.
Yes,
and then
the reversal.
Bianca did. This is like the first time I think I've ever seen this type of reversal. She just kind of like stepped out of it and like turned Charlotte while she's in it, and then she just kind of wraps her arm around and then puts Charlotte in the abdominal stretch. It was, I had to like rewind. I was like, what did I just see? That was crazy. But then at the end, it is Charlotte picking up the victory. Bianca Belair hits the spear, and then right out the gate, Charlotte hits a spear to her, much bigger impact, and then almost immediately she hits the natural selection, a very sloppy natural selection too. Like, I don't know if that was on Charlotte's end or if Bianca wasn't in the right position, but it had very little impact, and that ends the match. And then you see Charlotte grab a steel chair, starts putting Bianca's foot in the chair, and then Rhea Ripley's music hits. And then as Rhea's coming out, Charlotte stomps on the chair, crushing the ankle of Bianca, and then goes to put Bianca in a figure four. And all the while, Rhea Ripley is standing on stage doing her full entrance. Like, she stopped and did the like arms up in the air and the stomp while watching Bianca, the person she came out to save,
get her leg broke.
Get her leg snapped. Huh? So you could tell that WWE production definitely cued Rhea Ripley's music way too early. I don't know if they were just being rushed by USA to get this segment going, because Charlotte wasn't ready for the attack by the time Rhea got on stage. So it was very rushed. It was very awkward looking. And then it just ends.
Yeah, it cut off in the middle of Mauro talking, which not a thing NXT usually does.
No, mid-sentence for Ms. and Mrs. So I was just like, okay, guess that's how NXT ends this week. Cool, I guess.
Match of the night?
Match of the night, Charlotte, Charlotte, Bianca.
I'm going to take Austin Theory and Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay. That's also a really good match. No debate there for me.
Yeah, and none to yours either. I mean, other than the fact that it was maybe a little too short, but I can understand why just the pure excitement over that match would make you want to pick it.
So my MVP for tonight is going to be the Prince, Finn Balor, for that amazing promo that he cut tonight.
That's Interesting. I actually, I take the man to whom regards were sent. Walter, for sending your boys and sending your regards to cute little Finn Balor.
Hold up, you gave Walter MVP? He didn't even appear.
Yep.
He didn't do anything.
Yep. He sent his boys, and guess what? He got me excited.
But he...
Kayfabe, right? Kayfabe, he sent his guys.
No, that's...
Kayfabe, he sent his guys.
That is completely different.
No, if you want to argue kayfabe, he sent his guys.
That is completely different from talking about MVP of the show. That's outside of kayfabe. That is... Walter is... Okay.
You know what? Fine. You know what? Fine. My MVP is Fabian Eichner. You happy now?
Yes.
You happy now?
I am yes.
Congratulations, Eichner.
Yes.
This is going to be your one MVP for your entire life.
Yes, I am happy because at least it's someone that's on the show. This guy, this is what I got to deal with every week, right? Man.
And then
we cut now to talking about the next show on the Wednesday Night Wars.
Live from Kansas City, Missouri.
The great state of Kansas. Yikes.
Live from Kansas City, Missouri. It is AEW Dynamite, the go-home show for Wrevolution. And God, do we kick things off with an absolute 5-star classic.
So there's a brawl in the middle of the ring, and oh, wait, no, that was...
Someone may have accidentally started us at the AEW Dynamite Road to Revolution show.
Yeah, so my for some reason when I was recording Dynamite, I have it set just on automatic recording. Each week it records Dynamite, and it recorded the after show as well. So when I was looking through my recordings, I just saw AEW Dynamite. So I was like, well, that's it. Apparently it was the countdown show. So and because I record the last 5 minutes prior to the show ending, it just started with the last 5 minutes of the show, and I was just like, huh? What's happening?
Yeah, so I'm so glad that we could just
we got
get the last 5 minutes of the show first.
Yeah, so we got the ending of this show somewhat spoiled for us. We didn't watch much of it. We watched a good 15 seconds before we were like, nope, this is probably
something's not right here.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen AEW do cold opens before, but not that cold.
I didn't see Riho fly through the air.
JR was mid-sentence, so we were just like, that's probably
something's not right here.
Yeah, so no, we kicked things off with what people are already calling potential match of the year.
And I would not argue. 5-star classic. In my book, I'm going to give this 5 stars. I don't usually give star ratings, but you know what? Up yours, Dave Meltzer.
I'm going to give this on the official Wrevolution Marcus scale. I'm going to give this a 5.
I hate you so much.
Yes, so, of course, we're talking about the 30-minute Iron Man match. Kenny Omega, the best bout machine, versus... the Bastard Pack.
You bastard, you killed Kenny.
Yeah, there's a... We'll talk about that one, but oh my gosh, though, this match. And take notes, by the way, because this is how you do a 30-minute Iron Man match. They had one commercial break, and it was picture-in-picture.
It was only 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was only 2.5 minutes, and... they immediately were like, yep, back in. That is how you do an Iron Man match. You don't cut away for any action.
And the initial cut was during a 30-second span after a fall.
Exactly.
You only missed 2 minutes of action in the ring.
This was a pay-per-view. This was like a WrestleMania, on Wrestle Kingdom type, I guess, indie match type performance that you just got on free TV.
This is, and I even mentioned to you, Kenny looks like he is in the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom going up with Okada right now.
This isn't this is what I love about performers in NXT and AEW, because if you're told, all right, free TV, you're going to go out there and perform a 30-minute Iron Man match on free TV, they're just going to go, okay, and they're going to go out and deliver a class. They're not going to go, But it's free TV. We're not going to make any.
Spend 30 minutes out there on free TV.
Yeah, we're not going to make any of that sweet pay-per-view money. So they're just like, so they go out there and they kind of just don't go all the way. They don't want to, because the whole idea is you don't want to give this away on free TV.
Aside from Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels has throughout his career had multiple Iron Man matches and a few on free TV, all of which he put his heart into. But everything else...
In this, I also will give, as much as I critique him, credit to, where credit is due, Seth Rollins. He never cheapens out on his quality of matches.
No.
There's a reason why he was called Monday Night Rollins for the longest time.
Right.
He always gives you 100%. Roman Reigns, for as much as you hate him, the guy goes full throttle every week in, week out. Kevin Owens. So you've got the guys that it doesn't matter. They're going to go out there and give you, like, to quote sports, like a Russell Westbrook type performance where they're going to go out and just try to play their heart out. Yep, 60 minutes every week. The only problem is that it's not everyone on the show doing that, so it can't carry the full load.
And that's the thing. That's why AEW and NXT are such better products than the quote-unquote main roster shows, because these guys go out there and every single one of them knows that if one person lets off the gas for 1 minute, the whole show has a possibility of being ruined.
Exactly. And the only critique you could say for that style, which is it is more of an indie style, is that you do have probability, more higher chance of injury, which you do see in NXT. Tommaso Ciampa, for God's sakes, has been injured how many times?
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano, the countless women's wrestlers that have been injured. So, I mean, you can say that it could going full throttle week in, week out could lead to higher injury, but then that's where I give AEW the nod, because they don't have that problem. Why? Because they don't force their competitors on these, like, freaking house shows and tours, and you're not like, also these people get breaks. So, which again, I guess that's one thing we have to kind of to knock ourselves on, because we do critique NXT on giving their guys breaks a little bit more now, but AEW never lets it affect the quality of their show.
Well, and they never make it like well known. It's not like this guy's been off TV for a month and a half. It's like, hey, this dude was at home with his family for a week.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like they it's not like you're never going to see all of AEW's A-list talent just
There's
gone
never
for
going
a
to be
week.
a night where Cody, Kenny, Jericho, Moxley, the Bucks, and Pac are all off TV, and your main event is like Luchasaurus versus Peter Avalon.
Yeah, like they never just... And the whole A-list doesn't just take the night off for 1 week. Like, no.
Well, considering 4 of them are EVPs.
Exactly. Like
Cody wasn't there tonight.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did anyone
notice?
Did it matter? No, because everyone else was there.
Exactly. Meanwhile, NXT, you were missing Keith Lee. You had the Undisputed Era.
Kinda.
You
only had 2 members of Imperium, and one of them was not Volter.
And then, I mean, I guess you had Ciampa and Gargano, and then you had obviously Charlotte and Bianca. That's it. You had 4.
You had featured Damian Priest.
So you had 5. Excuse me, because I'm including Finn Balor. You had 5 of your top talent. That's it. And one of them, all he did was talk and then get in a brawl. That's it.
Yep.
So, yeah, that is the one thing that NXT you could do better, is that they don't all need to just go at the same time.
Hey guys, I'm taking a month off, but we need you for this segment because 3 other guys have the month off. Sorry, it's my month.
Sucks to suck.
Well, and the other thing is with the medical care, medical benefits at AEW, they have world-class trainers. They have world-class physicians that these guys work with day in, day out to make sure that they are in peak shape. So when it comes to Wednesday or when it comes to a pay-per-view, they're not just running out there half-assed.
Yeah, and that is one thing that I do like about NXT more than their roster, because, being at Full Sail, and you do have, the benefit of being at the Performance Center.
Yeah, their trainers, their physicians are world-class as well.
If only the main roster had that. Not saying that the trainers in the main roster are bad, but the fact that they're constantly on the move and there's so many of them. It's just,
Yeah.
you don't have the benefit of being able to just sit down and address the injury. You have to go to a local medical facility.
Hospital. That is WWE for hospital.
Yes.
But so back to the match.
Yeah, let's reel this in. So I'm going to address something you pointed out earlier, which was the killed Kenny spot. So Pac hits a top rope avalanche brain buster to Kenny Omega, dropped him flat on his skull.
On his bastard head.
To which... bastard head. To which the crowd starts chanting, "You killed Kenny." So, not if you connect the dots, South Park.
You bastard! You killed Kenny. Got it, because Pac's a bastard.
Yeah, fantastic.
Great work. You know what, AEW crowd, you're my MVP tonight.
So, and then there was one thing that I didn't like during the match. By the end of the match, I was more okay with it. I'm still not like
the first point.
Yeah,
first fall.
But the first fall, you did the thing. You
DQ.
You did a DQ spot. This happens so much in Iron Man matches, or in 2 out of 3 falls. It's like almost a guarantee the first fall, or at least one of the falls, is going to be by a DQ, and that's what happens. Pac, frustrated that he just can't get the best of Kenny Omega, just grabs a steel chair and then just smacks him in the back of the head with it.
Yeah, and then he turns it sideways, puts the hard part into the side of his skull.
Yeah, so
Ow.
No ref's discretion there. He just nope, that's a fall.
And for the first time ever, a fall has ended in a DQ in AEW.
Of course, it happens in a Iron Man match where it's of no consequence.
Yes. So
way to go, AEW.
Kenny scores the first point.
Sure felt like a winner there.
The second fall comes from a black arrow from Pac, and my God, what a black arrow.
Yeah. If you asked, I told him, I said, if you want me to describe this move, I can't. It's just like Pac just doing this in midair.
I think what happened was Pac sat down with the create a finisher in 2K, what was it, 2K14, 13?
Yep.
And just was like, I wonder if I add this twist, this twist, this twist, this flip, and this twist together, what it would look like. And he's like, yep, I'm going to do that. That's my finisher now.
And then he did it, so... There's one spot, too, where Pac goes for the Black Arrow again, and it gets countered. And I hate watching that move get reversed, because it happens so last minute.
And he can't protect himself at
all. There's no way.
He's just taking knees to the ribs.
Yeah,
oh,
yikes.
You poor bastard.
We do get...
You're not laughing at my jokes anymore.
But then there was also one spot where... Pac set Kenny up on a table on the outside, and it looked like he was going for the Black Arrow. And at this point, I'm just like, no.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So you can tell his legs were just not.
You know, I think it has part to do with that, but if you look at the way that the AEW turnbuckle is set up,
That's fair.
It's a little bit thinner this way and a little longer this way, so it's probably harder to stabilize yourself on.
So I've heard this in when wrestlers talk in a podcast before. They talk about how they will talk about, hey, if I can't hit a certain spot, I'll have a backup spot ready. So it looked like when Pac set Kenny up on the table, he was going for a Black Arrow, and that point in the match, they'd already been going for 17, 18 minutes.
Yeah, and
so
he goes for the... he's raising his arms up like he's about to do the Black Arrow, and then he starts falling over backwards.
And he's just like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So then he hits just a shooting star.
Just a shooting star press.
Yeah, for Pac.
For Pac, yeah.
Yeah, that's just a shooting star press. And the way it lands, he just kind of smacks off the side of the table.
Well, they even acknowledge it. So he hits the chest on Kenny Omega's midsection. The table breaks, and this part of the table comes up and smacks Pac in the face.
Pretty sure he was knocked unconscious briefly for a few seconds.
I think both of them were.
Because as soon as he hits, he just goes, woo, and
G-Night
Pac.
So we get back into the ring. Pac
puts Kenny in the brutalizer for what feels like forever.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes in the brutalizer. The match ends in a tie. Pac beats the living hell out of the referee.
Yep.
And then Justin Roberts goes, ladies and gentlemen, I've just received word that this match will continue under sudden death rules.
So these two, with no referee, just start going at it, and then we get the biggest pop of the night.
Aubrey Edwards. God, I love you, Aubrey.
Aubrey.
She gets her own chant. Like, oh, God. So she slides into the ring. Kenny
starts hitting V-triggers like he's going to run out of them.
Yeah, Kenny hits a V-trigger. Then he hits a ripcord, or not ripcord, ripcord
V-trigger.
V-trigger. And then hits the one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there was one point where it looked like Kenny was trying to hit a avalanche one-winged angel. Or we're just like, Kenny, no, you don't have to do that.
Kenny, this move puts people away every time. You don't need to go up to the top. You're going to kill someone. My favorite part of the night was the second time he goes for the one-winged angel and Pac starts fighting out. So he just tosses Pac, grabs him in a German,
midair,
and plants him on his head.
Yep, just caught him midair.
And he planted him on his head.
Yes.
Like, that was a bad spot.
Now, I was scared because when he hit the one-winged angel, Pac doesn't lose often. So and
he has the knack of kicking out just at the most perfect time.
So
too.
as soon as he hit it and he went for the pin, I was like anger pointing.
Don't do it.
I was waiting for Pac to just like at the last second just 1, 2, and I was gonna like just walk out. But no, they did the right thing. Pac, you did the right thing, and it lives.
Well, see, and this is another thing that's kind of important. Kenny has other moves he can win matches with.
Yes.
So it's not like this is his only finisher.
Yeah.
So when he pulls it out, it's a very special circumstance. Yeah. That's going to make it to where he can still lose matches after hitting a finisher and not have the one-winged angel spoiled.
Exactly. It's actually been a while too since we've had a one-winged angel too. So that's always nice. Afterwards, we get a Tony Schiavone interview with a very angry Pac.
So Pac, you lost the match, and how does that make you feel?
What are you taking the piss?
You've got to be kidding me. This is some kind of joke, isn't it? And then Orange Cassidy,
freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy,
comes out and stands face to face with Pac.
Pac wasn't having any of that. Clocks him, starts going to work on Orange Cassidy there. So that was, and then, well, no, I'll save it. We get the announcement later, but we go backstage as we think we're going to get an interview with one Chris Jericho, but who should answer the door but Jake Hager?
Jake, I just want to. I just want to speak with Chris Jericho. Can I get a word?
This closes the door. Nothing. Nada. Zip. So that was a segment.
You know, I think the funniest thing with Jake Hager is that they acknowledge how bad his mic skills are by just not having him talk, and it makes him seem like such a badass.
Yep. So we then get the Inner Circle is a mystery, full of shades that no one sees.
Okay, so for real though, anyone who hasn't realized this yet, the Inner Circle theme is literally the biggest ripoff possible of the Evolution theme. Uh-huh. Like, it's exactly the Inner Circle.
Evolution. Like, it's got the same basically intro.
Yeah, literally. Go listen to one, listen to the other, and then go back. It's the same song.
It wouldn't be the first time. I mean, John Moxley's theme song.
John Moxley's theme song is the same everywhere he goes.
Everywhere he goes.
It's the same thing in New Japan. Like he has.
Like it's just like random guitar.
it's like siren-ish sound guitar. New Japan.
Basic drum beat.
Air raid siren guitar.
Yep.
WWE guitar scratch that sounds like air raid siren guitar.
Hell, they in his last like stint in WWE, they added an air raid siren throughout the entire theme song. So, yeah, we're
Yep, that's it's literally it's the same recipe everywhere he goes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the Inner Circle versus the Jurassic Express. So
Is that how you think I'd sound if I could talk?
So I'm gonna.
It doesn't surprise me at all. Dinosaurs have been relegated for 65 million years.
Yay.
Luchasaurus.
His master's degree, by the way.
In history.
Luchasaurus,
this is why you're my favorite wrestler, man. We connect on a level no one understands.
I'm sure. So,
that's what I want to do when I get my master's. When I go get my master's in history.
You want to
dress up as a dinosaur.
Giant dinosaur and
wrestle.
You have fun with that, bud. You have fun with that. You know, I think I aspire to be small boy. Marco Stunt.
You should be the Gilbert of Marco Stunt and just be big boy.
There you go.
Anyways.
So Jurassic Express, first of all, great to see Luchasaurus in a ring fighting on AEW TV. More of that, please. Please. So, and he actually was in the ring for a decent amount. Granted, a lot of it was Marco Stunt, which, no knock to Marco, I love him, but I wanted to see definitely more of my boy Luchasaurus, and I am such a huge fan of Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Yeah.
You seeing Jack Perry seeing Sammy Guevara in the same ring, it had an epiphany.
That's the future.
That is the future of professional wrestling right there. I mean, you talk about those two. You talk about people like MJF and Darby Allin, like
Hangman Page.
I mean, yeah, having your Kennys and your Young Bucks and your Jerichos, that's
Cody
great.
And Moxley
but
and
you have to set yourself up for success later on. What happens when those guys inevitably leave? I mean, they love the business, but everyone talks about trying to get out as early as you can, trying to save yourself, because at the end of the day, it ain't ballet.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to end up like Undertaker or Sting.
Yeah, doing this to your like 60 with a broken hip and putting on barely qualifying as wrestling matches. So, yeah, you want to try to get out as early as you can, and they've set themselves up so that way they're not going to be dependent on the elite or on the main members of the Inner Circle down the line. You're actually going to have talent that can step up and take their place in the future. So that was just kind of what the thoughts that were going through my mind while watching this match. Just that Jungle Boy's amazing. Sammy Guevara, I've said it before, is amazing. And Luchasaurus is just the best. I know it feels like I'm not talking about what's it called? The other members of the Inner Circle in this match. Santana and Ortiz. But, I mean, we already know how great they are. But that's not the focus of this match.
Well, and this is the thing. We talk about longevity for a company, and a lot of times people forget that it is important for... Yeah, I mean, AEW is competing in the ratings right now, but if they want to continue to compete in the ratings, they have to do something. They can't be TNA.
Yeah, you can't just, like... Your whole gimmick can't be, we want to beat WWE. Like, you can't just only try to, like, take shots at Vince and, like, you know, haha, like, their creative's bad, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, it has to be, like, we put on great wrestling week in and week out, but also we have staying power. Because... that was the big thing with TNA, is that they had top-tier talent at one point. They put on great matches. They had great storylines. But what happens when those guys leave? What happens when you lose Samoa Joe? You lose AJ Styles? You had the Young Bucks at one point in your company. Generation Me? Really?
Yep.
So, yeah, it's like, what happens when you lose all of those guys and you're dependent on on the Kurt Angles, on the Kevin Nashes and the Stings. They're amazing.
Hogan.
You brought Ric Flair out of retirement. I'll never forgive you for that, by the way. I will never forgive TNA for bringing Ric Flair out of retirement because he had the perfect send-off with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24. So, or 20, was it 23?
No, 24.
It was 24.
23 was at Ford Field.
You're right, yep. So, yeah, moral of the story is don't be Impact Wrestling.
So, the Jurassic Express does win this match with a little help from their friend Darby Allin.
Yeah, Darby comes out and snatches the sock right out of Sammy Guevara's hand, which leads to Jungle Boy Jack Perry hitting a vicious Hurricane Rana for the win. Not often we see a Hurricane Rana put people away.
This was something we just talked about a couple weeks ago. Seeing regular moves put people away is something that we need to see a little bit more of so that when someone goes for a pin, it's not just like, oh, they need a rest.
Exactly. So then we get a interesting commercial from your friends at the Dark Order.
I thought this happened later in the night.
So the Dark Order talk about how they're going to be facing SCU, and that
at Wrevolution, we will be taking on Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. But most importantly, Christopher Daniels will become obsolete.
Get it?
Chills. Chills. All the chills.
I like how both sides are playing up, or just they don't care anymore.
No, they're flirting so hard.
Yeah, please let it happen. Matt, don't be dumb. Don't take Vince's money.
Matt has told them what he wants time and time again. Give me creative rights over my character. And Vince says, I can't promise you that.
So you're going to get to watch him walk right out the front door.
Yep. And he's going to walk right out the front door of your company, across the street, right in the front door of the other company, and be welcomed with open arms because A, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, B, one of the best entertainers in the world, and C, he's got more friends on that side of the aisle than he does on your side.
Oh, I just had a scary thought, but it's a scary, good thought. So if Matt goes over to AEW, and then Jeff comes with, I just need to see a Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy match.
Now, this is the thing. Jeff Hardy has an extra year on his contract.
I know, but I just need to see that match.
I would guess when Jeff Hardy's contract is up, if Matt is still with AEW at the time, he will go, and he will probably show up as Brother Nero.
All the Daredevil, all the I can't feel pain spots, I need it.
I just feel like we need to throw Jimmy Havoc in it for fun.
Why not? I'm completely okay
with it. You know what?
With it.
That would be the match, because they're both old as dirt. Jimmy Havoc, Jeff Hardy.
There you go. I need it. I need it.
Speaking of Jimmy, I miss you. Where have you been?
Yeah, that is a little strange. He went by the wayside, kind of like Luchasaurus did. So, yeah. But I know he's probably enjoying some time off.
So speaking of guys coming into the company, we get an announcement later in the night tonight. But I had heard this announcement earlier.
Yes.
Lance Archer. Let me make sure I got that name right.
You did. It's Lance Archer. I got it in my notes. Right, huh?
Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's late. Lance Archer, former IWGP United States champion, will be joining All Elite Wrestling.
I don't know much about Mr. Archer, but
you saw a match.
I saw a match, but I don't know much about the guy. So, if you're coming from New Japan, I guess I expect big things. As long as you're not putting on what Wrestle Kingdom is doing, then I guess I'll be okay.
Big guy, quite violent, hates Moxley.
So does every big guy, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, so...
does Moxley make any friends? The answer is no.
Not anymore. So, if any of you are interested in checking out the match that we saw, You can go check out the Wrestle Kingdom 14 coverage and check out Moxley versus Archer for the IWGP United States Championship on night 1. Probably was one of the best matches from night 1. That's
the only good
not
match.
Not a great high bar, but
no.
And then we additionally get some leakage news that on the March 18th edition of AEW Dynamite, we will get the official Dynamite reveal and debut of Brody Lee.
That's Luke Harper, for those of you that don't know his indie name, because Lord knows I didn't up until a couple days ago. So
I cannot wait to see this, and they said that they were originally planning to debut him at Wrevolution, which is what I had thought was going to happen. But they booked the show on the 18th in his hometown of Rochester, New York. So he'll be debuting in his hometown in front of all of his family and friends.
Well, there you go. So next we get the Best Friends versus the Butcher and the Blade. And talk about tag teams that I have completely 180'd on. Butcher and the Blade. Like, you guys...
Legitimate badasses.
Yeah, you have completely turned me around. I was very critical of you when you first debuted. I thought the gimmick was just like another Dark Order type deal. I thought it was just going to be cringe, kind of lame. But more I saw of you, I realized, first of all, you're amazing in the ring. And I like the gimmick. I think it's kind of cool. So.
And nothing is better than the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny coming down to the ring. Those guys look awesome.
Yeah. And then, obviously, of course...
The aesthetics are great.
Yes. So, this was a pretty good match. Best Friends, always very entertaining. Butcher and the Blade, though, all business. And then we get a little shenanigans as freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy makes his way in the ring.
As does the Bunny.
And they face off. Cassidy goes to put the hands in the pockets. And then Bunny grabs his glasses and puts it on her face.
Goes for the low blow. Orange Cassidy catches her leg. Puts it down like a gentleman.
And then
snatches the ears.
The bunny ears. Places them on said skull. Hands in the pockets.
Dodges from behind the Blade, who almost trucks Bunny.
Yeah.
And then Orange Cassidy hits a tope suicida on the Butcher.
Yeah. So we then... It is the Best Friends picking up the victory at the end.
With an absolutely brutal tag team finish.
Yeah.
That like Texas... Now that's the like double underhook backside package pile driver.
Yeah.
Terrifying spot to hit. And then to stump the dude into the ground by kicking him on the hiney.
Yeah.
The rear end.
So, after the match, we get kind of an interesting announcement. And that's that at Wrevolution, it's going to be Pac
going one-on-one with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. I can't wait for this match. I'm so excited. And then Chuck grabs the mic and he goes, well, you know what's important about this match is that Orange Cassidy is going to actually try.
To which the crowd starts chanting, he will try, he will try.
And Trent grabs the mic, he goes, okay, we can't talk for him.
Yeah, we can't confirm or deny.
Right, so whether he tries or he doesn't, we'll be with him, we support him, we're here for him.
So this is a pay-per-view match.
Tony Schiavone goes,
this is also Orange Cassidy's first match in AEW.
Cassidy, will you try? I'm excited.
It's going to happen. It's going to be a thing. Can't wait to see, I guess.
I'm excited. This is that kind of indie wrestling that makes me... It makes me excited. I mean, it's scary because you're kind of going on a limb here with a guy, but I'm excited for this match.
as excited as I can be. It's kind of a no build. Hey, this is happening type
It'll be
deal.
funny.
So it'll. You don't do. That's the thing, though. You shouldn't do funny comedy wrestling with Pac. That's not what he's there for. So that's what my biggest that's my biggest turn off here is that if you're gonna do the Cassidy, let's put him in a comedy match. Just it's gonna be funny. You're goofy indie wrestling. Don't do that with Pac.
But nothing is better than a comedy match in which one dude is absolutely stern and as serious as humanly possible.
Here's what I hope the match have. I hope Pac just either A, Pac obliterates him, or B, Cassidy actually tries and we see what Orange Cassidy can do in the ring for real. And it's just this kept secret that Orange Cassidy's just a legitimate badass in the squared circle.
Totally understandable. I don't know. I think of all the great Martin Kirby matches I've seen over the years.
Yeah, but
where he faces someone serious. It's happened, and they've been fantastic.
Yeah, but it's never been someone like Pac, where he has never there's no record of him doing something comical. It's just always just serious, especially after the 30-minute classic with Kenny tonight. It just feels out of place.
I promise
not
you,
with
it's gonna
him.
be a great match.
Not with
It's
Pac.
gonna be great.
So prove me wrong, show me something at Revolution, but I don't agree with it. So
on to the down part of the night.
I don't know if I agree with you here.
I didn't love this match.
So we get women's action. It is Yuka Sakazaki versus Big Swole versus Shana and versus Hikaru Shida. So yeah, if you're wondering why I did the that, because Shana, again, she's the Dragon Ball Z ripoff, and Miss Swole, she's just always hype. I love her.
Swole.
So this is an example of where I could see this is how you do a comedy wrestling match, because Yuka played the role of the the funny kind of outside not really having a chance in hell of winning this match kind of character. So she just made the best of it, and this is how you go about doing a comedy match. It was entertaining. Yuka played her role well, and you still got the desired result that you wanted out of the match. I enjoyed this match. Swole looked phenomenal. Shana looked really good. Hikaru, she looked good. She's never been bad in the ring, but definitely I guess her display wasn't really what I was focusing on. But not the result that I was expecting, as it is Shida that picks up the victory, not Swole.
So I do have a question for you. Does Hikaru Shida winning this match tip the cards or tip the cap in any kind of way towards who will be winning at Revolution in the women's championship match between Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander?
No. I don't think it has any impact, to be honest, because I think she could have a great match with either woman.
And I agree with you. Now, had it been Big Swole, I almost certainly would have thought it would have been Nyla Rose, because their styles are a little bit closer. Statlander's a good competitor, but she's got her own comedy angles, and
well, that's why I was so surprised that she won a match, and they were here you go, you're the number one contender. I couldn't believe it wasn't Swole.
Well, Big Swole wasn't in the rankings.
I get that, but it's just mind blowing to me. Statlander again won 2 matches and was given a number one contendership. Swole won a match on AEW TV. Mm-hmm. So how she's not in the ranking, how they justify that, I don't get how that works. But that's, I don't know. I just think some things you just need to give into, and I don't know. I think Swole is going to be.
She'll be there.
Yeah, she's going to definitely be in
long.
the title picture. She needs to be. Statlander, her character doesn't do it for me at all. It never has.
Oh no, I don't like her character at all.
Shida, her character, the whole first of all, she comes off to a rip-off Naruto theme song. She's got the sword and everything, and it's just, I don't know, it's very bland. She's decent in the ring, so whether it's Nyla Rose or Statlander, it'll be an alright match, but please be Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
And please squash Cheetah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Chris Statlander. I like her in the ring. I think she's great in the ring, but I agree with you. Her character is atrocious.
Yeah.
But from what I can tell, and those of you who follow us on Instagram know that I follow quite a few talents on Instagram, and it seems like Chris Statlander, this is just kind of her personality. Like, she is just quirky and weird, and the alien gimmick comes from the idea that she's just so different.
Yeah, so we're kind of at this like down point in the women's division of AEW. Like, we had our high, that was cool, that was fun. Didn't we all have fun for a couple weeks? And now we're back to, I don't want to say like a low because I enjoyed this match.
Because Riho's not a champion.
Yeah, and I actually did somewhat enjoy this match, but we're definitely, trending downwards again. So let's get some Britt Baker up in there. Let's get some Nyla Rose, and let's have fun, AEW Women's Division. We now get an interview with the Elite. Of course, that is Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page on one side, and then the Young Bucks on the other.
They talk about their upcoming match, the intricacies of fighting against people that you've known your entire life, not your entire life, but your entire career, that you've been around this business with, around the world with. And, Nick and Matt Jackson don't pull any punches. We've known you guys as long as we've been in this business. We've traveled the world with you. We stay in hotels with you guys. I see you guys more than I see my family.
You know my family. You've met my son. You've met my wife. But, no, this is no offense to you guys, but we are the best tag team in the world. You're not.
And come Revolution,
those
taking will be ours.
We're taking your titles. Like, no offense, like, we're still going to be the Elite after. I mean, it shouldn't matter who's wearing the belt. We're still the Elite. That comes first, but we're taking your titles.
What do you mean the Elite comes first? What is this? I told you that I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, Hangman Page the entire time doing this interview was very uncomfortable, especially because Kenny Omega was kind of almost giving in to the Bucks. Like, everything they said, he was like, yeah, no, you're right. Like, you guys are the better tag team. I look at me and Hangman Page as aspiring.
Yeah, we were inspired by you.
To be you guys. And, every time we compete, we're aspiring to be you guys. And, yeah, our winning the championship and lighting this spark as a tag team was just kind of, it was kind of happenstance.
It was an accidental. We fell into it.
And then, to which Hangman just goes, so us winning the championship was just a mistake? It was an accident?
Well, no. You and I, we built this tag team from the ground up. We built all of this from the ground up.
So JR, who's conducting the interview, acknowledges the fact that Adam Page is very uncomfortable throughout this entire interview. He's fidgeting in his seat. Yeah. He's taking multiple sips of a certain beverage. And to which the Young Bucks, I believe it was Matt Jackson, goes, I didn't want to say it, but you got to do that here. You got to drink here doing this interview.
Right, like, we're doing this because we care about you. That's the only reason we're asking you about this.
So, as you started to talk about, Hangman talked about how, he wanted to leave the Elite months ago, and you didn't acknowledge that, and the Bucks get furious.
We brought you into this company. We did everything for you. We brought you into the Bullet Club. We brought you into Ring of Honor. We brought you into New Japan.
We made you. And then they start going back and forth. Kenny's just sitting there looking very uncomfortable. Poor Kenny. And then finally Hangman goes, you know what? Drink's empty, so this interview's over. Gets up and walks out.
Is the baby-faceiest babyface I've ever seen in my life.
The only thing I wanted from Kenny out of this interview was when the Bucks started, attacking him more, was I kind of wanted him to be like, yeah, no, you guys were the best tag team or something, kind of give, these guys are coming for your titles, you can't, I get the whole,
Kenny.
I get the whole, you guys are best friends and, that, oh, you inspire me, you can still say that, but also say, yeah, you inspire me, but I'm still going to kick the crap out of you at Revolution.
Yeah, that's just not Kenny's character. When it comes to fighting with those guys, even when it came to fighting with Cody, it's, look, yeah, you're great, you're a fantastic competitor. I look forward to our match.
Yeah, but you can still be like, I'm gonna win, like something, like so confidence for Christ's sakes, because he never even at one point said I think I'm gonna win.
I really badly want Adam Page to become a heel.
See,
I just do so bad. I know you want the Bucks to turn.
It's not. No, it's no. You misunderstand. It's not that I want the Bucks to turn. It's that I believe the Bucks are going to turn. The feeling that I've been getting is that everybody anticipates Hangman Adam Page turning. That's why I think it's going to be the swerve and they're going to go with the Bucks, because it's so obvious that it's Adam Page that it's almost like even more obvious that they're leaning more towards the Bucks. Even with this interview, like, they were planting seeds, the way the Bucks were antagonizing Kenny and Adam Page, talking how, we're the best tag team and that, it's time. Like, you had a good run, but it's time. I'm tired of losing sleep over not having those belts, and talking about how they brought Adam Page the title. And I even felt sympathetic towards Page at one point. He talks about how, you guys have done it all, and finally, this is my first championship. Like, this is so important to me. This is huge, and the moment I get a little gold, you want to come and take it away from me. So I think I felt sympathetic towards the alcoholic in this case, which I don't think maybe that was the point.
I don't think you were supposed to.
No, I think that was kind of what you were supposed to get out of it. I mean, the way he said it, the way the Bucks just seemed like so overly aggressive in this interview, I feel like that's kind of where they're going to be going. So whether it's Page or the Bucks, it'll be great. But I just feel like they're planting the seeds for it to be a Bucks turn.
The only reason I see it being Adam Page instead of the Young Bucks is because when Jericho steps away, they're going to need another massive heel. And I know MJF is a massive heel, but you can't just have one.
I mean, but that's when you build people, though. Like,
who in the company even looks to be a heel right now other than Adam Page, who's a drunkard?
Peck?
I don't even know that he's a heel. He's just an a-hole.
And not to mention, you've got the other members of the Inner Circle as well, too. So
yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it. I think Adam Page would be the perfect way for if Jericho decides to step aside, and I know he's got a world tour coming up, so maybe he will, to be the next heel, to be the guy who is going after Moxley's belt.
Well, the thing is, though, you're going to have, if it's him that turns heel, regardless of who it is that turns heel, it's not going to be any of them going after Moxley's belt right away.
No, not right away.
Because they're going to have months of going after each other, because, again, you only get 4 pay-per-views a year. So you're going to have literally majority of this year it being the Elite fighting each other, if that's the way you go.
But, again, that's another reason that I would say it would probably be Hangman Page, because then you can get, okay, well, our match is Kenny versus Hangman. That's it.
But then you have plenty of time also to build another heel. So you don't have to immediately throw it on an Elite member, because my God, I love the Elite, but give someone else an opportunity, for Christ's sakes. So that's
Chris Jericho's their champion.
I know, I'm saying, but you have Cody in a main match. You have the Young Bucks and Hangman and Kenny fighting for a tag team belt. So my point is not that the Elite are taking up the main event. My point is that you can't just always have the Elite fighting for top spots. You have to have other people, which is what they've been doing. So continue with that. Have other people. Don't just, Jericho steps on at main heel, so it has to be that's just Elite member.
I didn't say he had to be the main heel. I just said he needs to be a top heel.
Well, you said Jericho's stepping down as the main heel, so someone else has to take his place.
Someone has to take his place as a heel on the food chain.
But you said your exact words were the main heel, though. So I'm just quoting.
I never said the main heel. I never said it. If you took it that way, you misunderstood what I said.
Well, we'll go back and watch it in post, or I'll watch it and then I'll send it because I do all the editing. But
I never once said the main heel.
Yeah, those were your exact
words.
Because
I know as soon as Jericho's gone, MJF is going to become the top heel in the company.
Yeah.
And, in fact, that would be my guess for the first feud for Moxley, assuming MJF wins the match at Wrevolution.
Whether he wins or loses, I still think MJF's probably going to make a shot at Moxley's title eventually. Especially because Cody can't.
You know what's really funny? We're all just assuming that Jericho's losing.
Well, I mean, yeah. I hope. This is one of the things where... This is one of the things where I'm saying I hope someone does something. I hope Jericho loses the title. Like, I don't care who turns heel, who turns face, whatever. I'm just saying what I think's gonna happen. No, you need to take the title off Jericho. I want Moxley as the champion.
Everybody wants Moxley as the champion, but isn't that just the perfect way to build Jericho as a heel? Everybody wanted Cody to be champion.
But, God, for the wrong reasons. Jericho, I love you, but I am ready for you to not be world champion anymore. I wanted that belt off Jericho a while ago. So.
Oh, man. You know what? I don't know. This might be the perfect opportunity to continue to build heel heat.
I think God, how much more heat can you have? He's already, like, eclipsed, like I don't know how much more heat you need.
That's true. I don't want the man to, like, get shot or something.
Well, that, and again, I mean, I want to see somebody else up there. It's been nice having Jericho in the Inner Circle, and that's all cool and dandy. And the Inner Circle's probably still going to be up there, but...
You would have never survived Bruno Sammartino.
No, I wouldn't have survived Hulk Hogan. I barely survived John Cena, for Christ's sakes. And, I mean, hell, the thing is, there's a lot of people that think like me, too, because we saw it with the John Cena era. People were burnt out. No one wants to see the same guy on top all the time. You gotta get new guys in there. And, like, because no matter how hot you are, because at one point John Cena was the hottest guy in wrestling. You talk about pro wrestling, you talk about John Cena. But at some point, even the little kids go, okay, that's enough. Like, you got to get someone else. And that's my thing. I'm not saying that we're going to get there with anyone in AEW because I feel like they're doing a good job of, it's like not a revolving door, but you're doing a good job of moving people in and out. Like, you're keeping things fresh. So I'm saying continue that. Don't just reign forever Jericho. Like, no, it's got to...
Well, that's the thing. I don't mind the idea that he would reign for a longer period of time as long as they continue to make it creative and innovative. If he wins this match because someone throws in the towel, first of all, no one will be in Moxley's corner. But like, I threw in the towel and I'm going to kick Moxley in the junk, like that's not innovative. Be innovative with it. If you're going to have Jericho win, make it something we haven't seen yet.
If you're going to have Jericho win, I think you need to have him beat him clean. Have him beat Moxley clean. Because if you're going to have Jericho keep the title, then at that point, then just legitimize your champ.
Like a full on classic match.
Yeah, I'm talking.
And then he hits a Judas effect
for the win. Moxley just was just
the same way he did with Hangman.
Mm-hmm, he just wasn't good enough.
I'd be okay with that.
Like we don't. The thing with heels that I love is that. You can do so much with them. The problem with a lot of WWE heels is that all the heels always win by the same way. They never legitimize their reign by getting actual victories. It's just interference or cheap shots or something. Yeah. Like that's what made you look at the reigns of like your top heels in WWE. Edge. I was gonna say even like your Bret Harts. Like I mean, you think about your top heels, they could kick your ass. And spit in your face at the same time. Like they could be the dastardly heel, but they also knew how to win matches. That's the way it needs to be. And I feel like we got that with Jericho in the Hangman Page match, which that was good. But
it seems like all his title defenses have been pretty clean.
Well, the MJF match. Or excuse me, the Cody match. I mean, that was MJF throwing in the title for him. So,
I mean, he also had him beat. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So let's not dwell on this too long, mostly because time, and we're already an hour and a half into this almost.
Well, it's good to break some things down and talk about kind of the potential future of where the hottest show in wrestling today is going. So,
and we can talk about that in the Jericho Moxley weigh-in.
Yes. So this is a thing. They definitely only did this because of the Fury Wilder fight. By the way, Wilder, yikes.
Rest in peace.
Yikes. That was a mauling, my guy. And I I'm a Wilder fan, but I don't want to hear no excuses about, well, the outfit I wore to the ring was too large, so my legs were weak. I don't want to hear that. You got your ass kicked. Move on, suck it up. Try to get him next time. That's all you needed to say was that I lost. I'll get him next time. Now he's threatening about firing his whatever. That's another topic. But yeah, they literally only did this because of the boxing match. They even got a boxing.
Yeah, so he was an announcer for WCW, a ring announcer,
yes.
but he's also an announcer for boxing.
And he was bad.
Yeah.
He not only had no enthusiasm, but he did not know what he was talking about.
Yeah, he was checking his cue cards consistently.
He didn't know who the champion was. He had to check the cue card to say Chris Jericho. At the very least, know who the champ is. Yeah. My God, man.
I as much as I'm going to say, it's kind of out of place, it's a little weird to have a weigh-in. I thought this was cool to have the guys go face-to-face like that. Jericho's Painmaker Posse jackets and those guys all coming out in solidarity.
I anticipate them potentially switching the name from Inner Circle to Painmaker Posse. It might happen. I mean, if it doesn't, cool, but it might. Like, I anticipate them maybe switching the name a little bit. I mean, they switched the name from Proud and Powerful to just Santana and Ortiz.
I think that this is kind of like a take on like a boxing thing. Boxer comes out like Team Mayweather.
Yep, that's fair.
So the Painmaker Posse.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's actually pretty cool. I want one of those jackets, by the way.
I really do. So Moxley weighs in at 234 pounds. That's about an average weight for Moxley. He's beefed up a little bit from his last weigh-in, if I recall correctly.
Oh, he was swole.
Yeah, he looked very, very good. Chris Jericho gets on the scale.
Dad bod for days.
Walks up to the scale with the title belt and all this jacket. And so he takes each piece off individually, steps up towards the scale, and then goes, no, and takes something else off. And then he goes to take his shoes off once he's down to just his pants and his shoes. Steps off the scale, goes face to face with Moxley. And Moxley headbutts him.
Delivers a vicious headbutt that busted Jericho open. Potentially broke his nose.
Yeah, so Jericho did post later that he had to get stitches. It was right here along the nose, and it did appear that he had broken his nose. Yeah,
so they showed a later picture too as well on the AEW Twitter that his nose is fine. It's just a cut. So that's good news for Jericho at least. But yeah, Moxley caught him square, caught him flush. That was big headbutt, and then that just all hell breaks loose after that.
Feuding and the Inner Circle's beating down Moxley, and then Dustin Rhodes comes out.
Dustin to fight solely Jake Hager. He takes him, and they start fighting in the crowd, and they get escorted to the back to where Hager takes out Dustin Rhodes, slams his head.
Oh my God, not the Dippin' Dots!
Not the Dippin' Dots! Yeah, JR seemed pretty upset about that.
Taz was worried about the Bud Light stand.
By the way, Taz, Tony Schiavone started this night on commentary, and then Taz just kind of took over and never left the remainder of the night. So don't know what that was about.
I don't know either. I'm sure we'll learn eventually.
I feel like Taz was just supposed to be on commentary, and then he was just running late or something, so Schiavone just had to hop in.
So Darby Allin comes down to the ring, goes after Sammy Guevara. Guevara hits him in the head with the skateboard. Skateboard breaks.
Which, yikes.
Yeah,
yikes.
A little cringy.
Well, especially because if you know anything about skateboards, those things are rock solid. So if you were to legitimately crack a skateboard over someone's head, you'd probably kill them.
So then Moxley and Jericho are standing tall. They go at it, start brawling. Moxley goes to hit the paradigm shift.
From behind, from Santana.
Uppercut from Santana to the buttocks. And Jericho hits the Judas effect.
And then finishes him off with a paradigm shift.
On the scale.
Yikes. A really bad paradigm shift, by the way, just pointing that out. But,
I mean, it's Jericho.
Yeah, but yeah, paradigm shift on the scale, and that is how we end AEW Dynamite this week.
Do I even have to ask?
No, it's the opening match.
Match of the night, Kenny and Pac. I mean, that's easy.
Yeah. Painless.
Probably will wind up being top 5 for match of the year. So, MVP candidate?
My MVP. This wasn't too difficult for me. It's gonna be Kenny Omega. I think Kenny worked his ass off in this match. I saw a side of Kenny that I haven't seen since his days in New Japan. So
the best bout machine is back.
Yeah, it was great to see this version of Kenny Omega debut in AEW months after the start of the company. So great to have you back, Kenny.
MVP is Kenny Omega.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Best show.
So, again, this is one of those weeks where NXT, like I said, lets the A-list talent just kind of take the night off. And while I did really enjoy the Charlotte Flair Bianca Belair match
and the Austin Theory Tommaso Ciampa match,
that's even those two matches combined don't get over the hump of just the one opening match for AEW. I mean,
you can't compete with match of the year.
Yeah, I mean, both those matches were great, but those are like, those are good matches. I'll talk about them for a week, and then that's it. This is like, we're going to be
talking about Kenny Hangman,
into 2020.
Kenny Pac.
When people are talking about what's your best match of 2020, people are going to reference this match.
Yeah, Kenny Pac is going to be on a very, very short list of matches that are match of the year candidates.
And then just the fact that minus those two matches on NXT, everything else was just kind of bleh. So, yeah, definitely going to have to go with, again, Dynamite. Again, NXT, you're making me sad, man. But hopefully next week, we've already got big announcements, big plans for next week for NXT.
Yeah, two steel cage matches.
2 steel cage matches. So hopefully NXT, you make me proud and you deliver. As long as AEW is going to be coming off a pay-per-view, so maybe that's your chance to take the spotlight from AEW, please, dear God. So,
we're here to change the world, baby. AEW was definitely the show of the night tonight.
Yes.
And we, aside from the fact that we agree and it's kind of obvious, could probably just go ahead and give them our viewing schedule for the rest of the week.
Yes, so obviously, if you're watching this right now, this video is going to come up later tomorrow, which is Thursday. Obviously, we are not doing a Friday Night SmackDown review. At least not that we think, depending on whether SmackDown is actually enjoyable with John Cena this week.
1 hour from now, Super Showdown starts in Saudi Arabia. We will not be
reviewing Super Showdown.
We will give you the results.
Yes. We are also going to be experimenting, as we said earlier in the week, with a new format for our Saturday videos.
A weekend roundup or a Friday night review, something along those lines.
So, if we decide to do a SmackDown video, then you'll get that, and then you'll also get our new video. If you don't see the SmackDown review, then you're just going to get the weekend roundup. It just all depends on...
And we will only talk about Cena.
Yeah, that all just depends on if SmackDown gives me something to have joy in my heart about.
And then, of course, Saturday,
the
Wrevolution.
We got a lot of wrestling on Saturday.
I can't wait to kick back, relax, watch Wrevolution, and have a little beer with Hangman, or maybe a little bit of the bubbly with Jericho.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fantastic night. That review video will go up later Sunday night, so stay tuned for that.
And then, of course, we will be back at it again.
Back on our regular...
With the white vans.
Yep.
Wow. Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. We will still be continuing with Raw. That's going nowhere. And then, obviously, Wednesday Night Wars. And we'll go from there. So, if you stuck with us throughout this hour and a half or so video, we do appreciate you. We love you. And since you're there, go ahead and... hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And ring
I bet you anybody who's watched an hour and a half of this is definitely subscribed by now.
You gotta be. Whether you're watching or whether you're listening, we do appreciate you. Of course, our podcast can be located on the YouTubes, Spotify, iTunes now,
Google Play,
and of course,
Podbean.
Podbean.
The most beautiful thing in the world. Podbean, we love you.
We're not paid to say that either. We just love the site.
I'd like to be paid to say that.
Oh, I'd love to be paid to say that.
But honestly, you don't need to
we don't
pay
need
me
to
to say
pay
that.
because we just love you that much. Social media links are down in the description below. We can be found on Twitter, Facebook, and he's on Instagram. So make sure you follow
And
us.
WR Fight Mode, Nick. Fight Mode.
So make sure you follow us on that. So that's going to wrap up our Wednesday Night War video. As always, live from Studio 6.
You know what? I'm going to give a Fight Mode Fighter of the Night.
Oh, wow.
Not for any show in particular. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy came out in Fight Mode tonight.
I'll let that one go.
Did you hear what he said on the Twitter machine? You were the one who told me.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said on the Twitter machine? This man literally sat down and said, about to watch some Wednesday Night Wrestling. What should I watch, NXT or Dynamite?
Yeah.
You're throwing hands, man. You're
Yeah.
throwing hands, and I love you.
Yeah, Matt Hardy doesn't care anymore. So let's go ahead and sign out
Let's
here.
wrap it up.
My
From
name
Studio
is
6.
Marcus White.
My name is Nick Cavalli, and we invite you, as always, to join the revolution.
Have a great night, guys.
Have a blessed Wednesday, even though it's Thursday.